Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm super excited for this chat today. And the topic du jour is employee experience. Not a happy Monday for many employees, sadly, and we're going to talk about that. But first, Lena, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me and happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Great to have you here. Isolved is a fascinating company supporting 5 million employees and 150,000 employers across 50 states. That's amazing. But maybe introduce yourself and who is iSolved?
Yes, yes. Well, you said it just right. I mean, we are in this people business. Is what I used to call it all the time at ISIL and even today. So my name's Lena Tong, Chief Experience Officer for ISIL. I get to do the best job I say often in the world. Just recently, Chief Experience Officer. I get to talk to our customers on a day-to-day basis, explore with our customers what they're going through, but more importantly, we're also concentrating on the employee experience of their own, as we do here at iSolve. So it's critical. It's critical to every business outcome that we look up ahead. We've been in business for a while now, but we obviously, as you said, an exciting company, exciting growth for us in the last couple of years. We look when we look at ISOL today and what we do for our customers. It is exciting to see that we get to change what they do every single day, but more importantly, the world's changing for them so much. The market is changing for them so much that being able to impact an HR administrator, anyone on the HR field, is an exciting role to have. So this is what we do. Everything that we do here is for better outcomes for the HR industry, and we stay very connected. I think one of the things that ISOL does different than anyone else is we stay incredibly connected to our customers. We learn from them. We try to understand what they're going through. And by that, we impact their experience and we listen on what comes ahead.
Wow, very impressive. Sounds very impactful. Maybe we'll switch to a little bit of a more challenging topic on this Monday to dive into a tough topic, employee experience. Many analysts are saying we're in an employee experience recession. What's going on here, and what are your thoughts around the current state of the employee landscape?
Yeah, so there's a little bit to dig into on that one specifically because we've been speaking to a lot of our analysts. Many speak of it as there is an EX recession coming, and maybe are calling it, and I like to call it this way if we start seeing it, is more of a seasonality or a winter, you might say, for EX. And that comes with budgets, some budgets being impacted by this. And the reason we say EIX is likely uh, probably going to have some seasonality on a winter seasonality is it's because the E and B is probably one of the budgets that we're seeing some customers say, well, if I have to reduce budget, this is an area where I'm going to reduce. We've made strides in the last couple of years already on DE and E and the outcomes that we have on businesses with investing on it. But look, we also see a lot of our customers saying that wherever the impact may be on an EX recession, they have to absolutely continue to concentrate on this, on the employee experience. Employee experience is being able to have these employees work, be productive, but bring good outcomes for the business. And there's so many different ways to do that today. But D and B being impacted by budgets is something that many of them are looking at. But when I speak to our customers, many are also saying, look, whatever we do, we cannot let go of employee experience because it's giving us business outcomes. So it's a topic on a Monday, but what we continue to see as we speak to them is we will continue to concentrate on it. It's what I think it's most important is to think, well, what ways can we get around if we do, in fact, have to have some level of budget reduction on some of these programs that are so important to employee experience?
Oh, great thought. And yeah, as a business owner, every day is a tough day.
Yeah.
And there's nothing tougher than dealing with workforce and HR issues. So, how do you help business owners sort of offload some of the workload of HR and workforce management while focusing on their employees and customers and all the things that you have to balance as a business owner?
Yeah, look, I think there's plenty of ways, and I think what we do as a business is actually exciting because we get to do a lot of these things, and we speak to our customers often about streamlining like the self-service and chatbots, and this is when AI play is going to play such a what we call a lifeline to HR teams. There's so many possibilities there on what they can do with their own self-service, being able to provide information over to their employees, but also using chatbots ahead, and being able to answer the questions that they have, maintain them, keep them informed, but also through surveys. AI will play a big part in that, and the ones that are getting ahead of that. I know the HR industry has been talking about AI, for a bit now, but this year was incredibly popular. Or this year, when I speak of 2023, the last 6 months, it was incredibly popular. But when I say popular, it's a topic that is actually going to make strides when you think of any budget level that I have to reduce in some areas, but yet I still want to impact employee experience overall. When we look at employees today, we ran some of our surveys did show that 65 employees are still suffering from burnout today. When we ran this
Mm.
survey, right? Like, I mean, and burnout is real. We ran this same survey a year before, and we did see a reduction of about 4%. So it's still not being impacted up and down tremendously. Um, but alleviating that burnout does help with employee experience, because what do you want as a final outcome when you think of employee experience? You want employees that want to be here, that want to be productive, that want to be engaged, that want to provide a good customer experience, but also employees that want to be present. And I think with all these tools, you have the ability as an HR team to say, well, I can use some of these automated tools and these AI tools that are available
Mm.
to me, but I'm still learning from my employees. I'm learning how they're feeling. I'm often asked this question is experience about feelings? And I'm like, 100%. You're working with people. You're making people feel things. And the experience you provide an employee is ultimately how the employee feels about the company and what they're doing every day.
A wonderful thought there. So, employee experience and workforce topics were such hot topics during the heat of the pandemic. And there's a feeling, I guess, that we're back to normal. In some ways we are, many ways we are. But why is employee experience such a hot topic still, even though we're back to some kind of new normal?
Yes, I think it's a new normal, and it actually has. We continue to talk to our customers and the HR industry on. I mean, it completely transformed an HR role. How they had to become strategic overnight and had to make all these decisions they never really had to be exposed to. But in reality, when we think about why is this topic so present today on employee experience, like we moved from the great resignation into what
Mm.
we're calling today the big stay. Employees are choosing to stay in their organizations, thinking of the looming possible recession on the X. But we also see that they for employees to stay. it's so important for them to stay and be present and belong and talking about that feeling of being able to know that I'm here to do my best work. And how I do that is as an employee is knowing that I am provided the tools that I need to do my job, that I belong in this company. So there's the big stay from the great resignation into the big stay. There's so many components into how employers have to now concentrate on, okay, if they're staying, are they one staying and not being, they're just staying because they have to stay? They're not going to do their best work. So what things can you do an employee experience to improve that? And then there's also the, we talk about skilling a lot with
Mm.
stay as well. Is, are you providing this proper skills to all employees? And as the new generation now has come through into the workforce to provide the best employee experience. So I think businesses have now understand the importance of productivity and business outcomes thanks to employee experience. And even if budgets have to be lower, I think no matter what, um, uh, businesses will continue to make it a priority. It's important with the new generation coming behind us. It is important to them to belong, to do good work, to be upskilled. So it's a topic that is here to stay.
Topic here to stay. Sandy, or someone from a sandy beach says you need to offer power naps or meditation, which, okay, I'll take that as a half joke. But actually, one of my favorites, Ariana Huffington, talks about the power of being present
Yeah.
and of meditation and of thoughtfulness, kindness, and all kinds of qualities. And you echo a little bit of Ariana. I don't know, maybe your cousins or something, but yeah, that's a really fun comment. The problem is business owners, we're told you got to focus on the customer, you got to focus on innovation or focus on service or support. So employee experience, is paid lip service to, but it tends to be lower on the rank. How do you link employee experience to business outcomes?
Yeah, I mean, my gosh, like business outcomes being improving retention is
Mm,
number one. I think you want to keep your good employees, like employees that are driving the business. So that's the number one KPI that I would attach to employee experience, boosting retention, and then improving recruiting. No matter what, we will continue to recruit. The workforce will continue to recruit. And as we talk about skilling, finding the right employees for the right roles. So employee experience improving recruiting is another tremendous KPI. I mean, you just talk a little bit about kindness and feelings and all
mhm,
of that, but employees, within surveys, they also respond to the importance of wellness and reducing
mm,
employee stress through employee experience. It's important too, and that's another outcome. I think on the big scale of things, you are then constantly, if you're doing it right, if you are constantly listening to your employees, providing them information, training them, you are overall improving the culture of the company. And when you improve the culture of the company, you're just going to have tremendous outcomes. People love working for the company. People love
mhm,
here. They're going to do their best work. Then we have the other component that is, we have some employees in office. Some companies are, have brought all their employees back, and many have made decisions to just, we're just going to keep half and half, or we'll do 3 days a week. And the importance of employee experience within remote work is so important, because you're still going to have some type of workforce in your office, and how can you help those employees collaborate with each other for the business itself. So lots of KPIs that I throw in there, but I mean, I will go down to retention, recruiting, that all brings culture, reducing employees stress, and then collaboration.
Wonderful sentiments, all of them. So, with a business owner looking to improve, enhance the idea of a purposeful employee experience, how should they get started? What are the baby steps towards that approach?
Yeah, so I think everybody starts a little bit different, and I think the number one thing any employer should do is absolutely listen to their employees, and that the easiest way to do that is through surveys. Now, we depending on the size of the company, of course, but I still believe serving your customers, your employees, listening to them is absolutely the number one step that you can take. Um, we in one of our surveys we were showing that even with the employees that are saying with the big stay, we still found that 58% of employees plan to explore new opportunities since 2024. Um,
Mm,
that's insane. That's a big number, and so we talk about this sense of purpose, this sense of belonging. So as soon as you listen to your employees, so surveying will be a number one thing to do. I will still say, and I know we started our a chat with this, but it's focusing on the EMB efforts. And you don't have to go all out. Like you can start very small on what are you doing for a sense of belonging, even if your budget on DMB is being reduced in some level, like what
mm,
are you doing for these employees to feel good about being here and belonging. We all do our best work when we belong, when we know that we're welcome and that you want us there. And investing on employees. So this is the learning management systems have become continued to be very important, and I
mm,
always bring LMS because of everything we do and say about are we providing employees with every single thing they need to do their jobs. And I think LMS is a great way to transfer all the way from the beginning, from the moment you onboard someone to through the whole journey. I have all
mm,
this learning available to me, and I have all this additional learning available to me that might upskill me on this or upskill me on that. So I think that will be another one that I will concentrate on as number three. And at the end of the day, I think I talked to one of our customers last week about this, and we talked about going back to the basics sometimes, like what does HR does every single day. What is important to HR every single day? It's their employees, but you know, an employee that is not paid on time when they're
mm.
supposed to. It's crazy, like a very,
Brutal.
very bad experience. And when we're running our surveys, that was like the number one thing employees
Mm,
talked about their experience. They say, if I'm not getting paid on time, if I'm not getting paid what I'm supposed to, their experience is completely changes, and that by itself, many make the decision to leave just by that. So I think going back to the basics, and are we paying our employees on time? Are we paying our employees what they need to be paid? But just don't make payroll mistakes is when I go back to the
mm,
basics. And so this customer was very insightful when they talked to me about that. And, they just went through open enrollment, and many employees talked of that is, my experience during my open enrollment wasn't great, and I didn't know what I had to do, and so we ran a survey on that. Same thing, back to the basics. If your open enrollment alone wasn't good, I will choose to leave. So the workforce has changed, and their expectations of us, of an HR team, or have changed. And I think going back to the basics is will be good, and then go back to those others, D&B, and the way you provide experiences to those employees every day is absolutely number one thing that you can do as a business to bring good outcomes.
Well, start with the basics. Sounds so simple, yet it's so hard. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the HR tech a little bit. We haven't talked about Isolved much. So how do you, as Isolved, influence employee retention, satisfaction in this kind of new work environment? What's your secret sauce there?
Yeah, I think before we go into deep into anything, I always say that good employee experience provides excellent customer experience. And I think at
Mm,
the beginning I was sharing that one of the things I believe we're doing very different at iSolved is the importance that we bring into employee experience, because we know that will bring customer outcomes. We hear from our
mm,
customers all the time. We have one of the fastest growing um, advocacy groups in the industry. So our customers are advocates through and through. They want to be there for us the same way we're there for them. And it's absolutely accelerating. And, I always say we have to give all that back to them. But when we look at what we're doing for our customers today, is one of the things our employees here at ISO do very, very well is we listen to our customers. We
mm,
listen to what they're going through, what the market is going through, and what challenges do they have. We have employees of all sizes. A large employee is going to experience things very differently than a small a large customer is going to experience things very differently than a small customer. Being
mm.
able to listen to our customers, no matter the size, is something that we do completely different. And then when you think of that too, is the journey that we provide them at ISOL. Are we able to provide the product and the services that they need in order to meet their goals? That ultimately is when we win. We have a customer that has to achieve this type of goals for the year 2024. How are we as iSoft involved within the product suite that we have available to them, and within those services? Are we able to provide them what they need for those business outcomes? And I think that's what we're doing different. 100%. That's where we lead the market on how we listen to customers and deliver it to them.
Well done. So you touched on AI briefly a moment ago. Maybe we could dive a little bit deeper on how AI and Gen AI will be relevant to, HR solutions, things like learning, personalization of employee experiences, so many opportunities. But what are you seeing or planning in
Yeah,
that regard?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think AI has such an accelerating component of outcomes on, many. I don't like calling it. I know someone last week, one of our customers said it's like it was a shortcut. Is the way she
Mm,
translated to me, and is it was it really a shortcut? So
mm,
this is a great example. We have this customer. I've been in touch with her for now a year and a half, and she's had a very aggressive roadmap ahead. And one of the things that she had to do is literally become from tactical to very strategic, and being able to provide C-level information into here's where the business is going, here's where we need to invest, but here's what we need to reduce. And through a lot of like her people analytics through ISOL, she now has the ability to pull all these reports and has the ability to be able to predict what's coming and
mm,
predict what she's seeing when it comes to yes. And actually the reason I touched base with her last week was because we were talking about the EX winter, and I wanted to know how she was addressing that and how she was doing with that. And it was very good to hear that, yeah, they will be having a reduction in some level of budget on some side, but that for her, she said, employee experience, we put it out first, but now with the tools I have within AI, I have the ability to do that. I have the ability to make those decisions. automation has provided that to me, streamlining tasks, and anything that we see ahead for AI. We talked last week with another customer where a big part of their workforce is what we continue to call the incoming workforce, and how they behave differently, and how they are likely going to be in a role for 30 years and then move on, and how we maybe upskill them into moving into a role into the same organization. We had a big discussion on that. And one of the things that came up was the ability to have AI provide the answers faster. So this new workforce coming in, and the ability that they have to just ask, right? Like, when is my time off coming up? How much time off do I have? And all the automation that comes within it, and some of the prediction that comes with it. It's what this new workforce is experiencing. And so this customer shared that they are powering up on anything that they can there, because they have seen the new workforce that moves into the 3 to 3 year period actually starting to move into other roles within the company, and they're good employees, so they want to keep them. So I think the future of AI is exciting. I think it's going to continue to evolve. But as long as we continue to think of it from the HR industry perspective, on we are in the business of people, and we're allowing people to do things faster, better for their employees or for their business, then we're doing a great job.
A wonderful thought. So we're here in 2024 in full swing now. What are you excited for the year? You have a busy agenda, I think, with events and customer meetings and
Yeah.
internal. What's on your radar?
I'm so excited about 2024. I'm one of those old timers that thinks that starting a new year is always a new chance to
Hmm.
whatever you need to do right, then let's go do it right. And I love the new year feeling I always love that the new year feeling is during winter, because you have such uh, high positivity towards the year. And if you're not positive about winter, then you're going to be positive about your year. I'm very excited to be closer to our customers. Look, I believe that we are leading the industry on how we're close to them, but we will be even closer to them this year. So I don't know if you've heard a little bit about it or not, but we have been conducting roadshows, what we call roadshows, but really what it is we go meet our customers where they are all over the U.S. And we had over 50 last year,
Wow.
which is incredible when you
One
look.
per state almost, but yeah, that's wild.
Yes. And what we do is we go look at where our customers are located, and then we go and spend about 6 hours of the day with them. And it has been transformational for us as a business. They understand more what we're able to provide them. We get to understand more what they need from us. And what I think I'm very excited about this year is that we are going to go back on the road, and we are releasing the dates. It's We're going to be again all over the country, but what's going to be exciting about that is that we are evolving a little bit of our time with them. We actually survey them and listen to them on what they wanted from us, and some of them want some credits during the time with us. Some of them want some more insights into the market, where the market's going. And just like our topic that we've been talking about, many of them want to hear about the big stay. How do they address that, the incoming workforce? So we've packed all that content for them, and we're getting ready to hit the road. That's one of the things that I'm excited about. But on the bigger scope, and things that we're excited here at Isolved is the ability that we will have, and the opportunity that our customers are providing us this coming year to be able to make a difference for them. If there in fact will be an EX winter or recession, then we, as a company and the business that we are, we have a tremendous opportunity to then crank it even more up and be able to provide them more our support.
Wow, so insightful, so helpful, your insights and analysis. Thanks so much. The big retail show is happening today and this week, and the NRF in New York City. And I hope some of those retailers are listening and watching and will embrace employee experience. If any industry needs it, it's the retail industry as well. So thanks so much for joining us, Lena. It was really a delight, and you're quite a dynamo. So really appreciate the interaction. And thanks everyone for watching. Reach out to Isolved. They're all over social media and have some great content and insights to share. Thanks so much.
Much. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. And thanks everyone for watching.